We're excited to welcome the director of the Coastal Magic Convention, Jennifer Morris, to the podcast. Coastal Magic is a super casual urban fantasy, paranormal, and romance-focused author-reader weekend in Daytona Beach, Florida, and Jennifer is the driving force behind that event. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello there. How are you?
We're good. It's awesome to have you here. We're super excited that we finally get to go to this con in 2019.
Yay!
We've heard so many awesome things about it from fellow readers, from fellow bloggers, from authors, and we're psyched to get there finally.
That makes me very happy. That makes me very happy.
Now, you just made the author announcement, and the registration opened up just, I think it was last week from when this podcast is dropping. Mm-hmm. What do we have to look forward to for 2019? Give us the scoop.
Okay, so we kind of try to have a formula where we have about half of our authors returning and half new authors that have not been with us before, or maybe were with us a few years ago but have been away for a little while. And so we're kind of running right on that same percentage. I'm happy with the split. So you'll see quite a few people that have been with us before, and then a lot of new faces, which will be a lot of fun. We're kind of playing a little bit with the schedule for this year. For people that have been to Coastal Magic before, we've kind of had a set evening type activity schedule thing that we did that people are really familiar with. But there were some comments about the amount of time that people have to sit down and chill out and talk in the evening. That's built into the daytime, but in the evening we have these party things going on, and there wasn't as much easily available time for people to kind of sit and chill out. So we're kind of rearranging some of the evening scheduling, so that'll be fun. The big thing that I'm excited about is that Mardi Gras starts during our Coastal Magic weekend. So we're going to play a little bit with that, so there'll be a lot of purple and green and gold going on that weekend.
Nice. What do you think it is that really has drawn such a loyal fan base of authors and readers over the years to this particular gathering?
As funny as it is, I think the idea that we're kind of middle of the road, which normally when you hear that phrase, it's not intended to be a good thing. But we mash up having a lot for people to do so that they stay busy and stay excited and stay engaged, with really giving people a lot of time to just chill out, have some downtime, goof off with friends, talk to some readers and authors that they don't know. There's a real good mix of, if for people that want to stay busy, you can do that. If you really want to just chill out, you can do that too. And I think we balance that out really well. And everybody just kind of, with so many people that come back every year, it's really kind of almost like a family reunion. So there's a lot of hugging and a lot of, oh my gosh, how are you doing? And it's not just, it's definitely book talk for sure, but there's a lot of people that, become friends with each other and stay involved with each other throughout the year, not just at the convention. So you're talking about family things and vacations that they went on and all kinds of stuff. So it really does turn into kind of like just an extended family reunion, which is a lot of fun. And the new people just kind of fit right in. It's not like anybody gets excluded because they haven't been there for 6 years. Everybody just kind of filters in together, and it's really cool. I like the community that we've kind of become, which is a lot of fun.
Now, Jeff and I have been talking about Coastal Magic on the podcast for off and on for several years now, and like Jeff said, we're super excited that 2019 is finally going to be our year. But
I'm very happy about that.
For those of our listeners who this is their first time hearing about Coastal Magic, can you give them sort of a rough idea of what the weekend is all about?
Okay, so basically we are going to have discussion panels. Mm-hmm. A lot, and one thing that's fun about the discussion panels is that the panel itself lasts for an hour, but there are a lot of times that I'll hear about conversations that started during the discussion panel that people are still having the rest of the weekend, mm-hmm. which is a lot of fun for me. That's cool because it shows how engaged people are with it and how they're thinking about what's going on. Sometimes it's, really oddball stuff. Like last year we had a panel on the authors' pets, because cats and dogs are abounding in authors' lives. So we had a panel about authors and their pets, which is ridiculous and also amazing. But then we also have stuff like world building and, villains and all that kind of stuff where it's not really author workshops because we don't really focus too much on the craft itself. But readers are interested in how authors come up with different world building techniques or how they create characters that, have certain dynamics. So we kind of balance it with those kind of things. So the panels, I'm a panel girl. I love going to panels when I go to events. So that's important to me to be able to have those options for people. We've also got some author-hosted activities that'll be mixed in with the panels. We'll have meet and greets, our welcome mingle on Thursday night. That's one of the things that's actually changing. We have done our party night kind of on Friday night. But we're changing it to Thursday night this year and making that party our welcome mingle and kind of toning it down a little bit so that people can have a chance to sit down. They can look through their bag of goodies that they get when they come in, meet up with people they know are going to be there for the weekend, maybe wander around, introduce themselves to different authors that might be there. So it's going to be a little bit more chill than usual. And on that first night, give people a chance to kind of really, start out the week making new connections. Let's see, we'll have a lunch with an author on Saturday, which is a lot of fun. People get to pick an author that they want to sit with. Each author is going to have 4 people that are kind of their little group, and we'll group multiple authors sometimes at the same table, so you never know who you might end up with. And it's a nice time for people to really just settle down, chill out, not worry about promo, not worry about anything else, and just chit chat. And I think people really enjoy that. That's one of my favorite things about the weekend. And we'll have a scavenger hunt. We'll have all kinds of goofy stuff going on. It's a little bit of everything.
Scavenger hunt. That sounds fun.
I like scavenger hunts.
And on top of everything, the convention happens essentially in the dead of winter in Florida. So I think not only do you get to enjoy and talk about books, you get to escape the frozen, especially, well, I think everywhere has been a frozen tundra lately. The last couple of years, winters have been pretty dire. Right. So I can't wait. This sounds so amazing.
Yeah, we had people laying out on the beach last year, this February.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy being able to lay out in February.
It happens. It happens.
Now, we've talked about this coming year. Give us the con's origin story. How did this all start?
Okay, so basically, I was being a whiny butt on Twitter. That's essentially how Coastal Magic began. I had a book blog many years before I ever started Coastal Magic, and so I was very lucky. I got to meet quite a few authors online and a few at some events, and was very active with my book blog. So I'd gotten to be friendly with a lot of authors. So I was very lucky in that I had a lot of connections that way. And I was on Twitter very upset because there was a group of authors that were doing a tour launching. Each one of these authors had a new book coming out, and so their publisher was sending them on tour. They were starting in New York, and they were moving down through the East Coast. They get to Atlanta, and then they went west. And I'm like, sometimes people in Florida read. It would be really great if you would come down here. and I get it. I know the marketing, and I know that they plan these things out, and all of that. And it's not their fault, and I wasn't berating any of them. I was just upset because they weren't coming near me. And so I'm whining on Twitter, as you do. And one of my author friends, James R. Tuck, who is an amazing urban fantasy author. He does a lot of crime noir and borderline horror, which is really cool. In any case, he was like, quit whining and just give them a reason to come to Florida. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, make an event, create something. I was like, you don't just make an event. That's not how these things work. And he's like, well, that's exactly how these things work. And so I kind of just didn't bother about it for a while. And then a week later, he's like, did you make something yet? And I'm like, no. And so he bugged me for a couple of weeks. And eventually I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So I emailed, I want to say maybe 20 to 30 authors that lived kind of close to my area within a few states, and said, if I put together this little thing, would you come? Would you come and do this signing and, maybe do a couple panels? And I ended up that first year with, I want to say, almost 50 authors from all over the US, and we had almost 200 people. So that was not what I was expecting, but very cool. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but it was so much fun. We've got some stories, people that were with me that first year. It was originally called Old City, New Blood, because we were in St. Augustine, and it was amazing. St. Augustine was a fantastic place for the event. The problem with St. Augustine is that it was not built for big events. St. Augustine is a very small little town intended for very small little things, and there just wasn't room for us. So when we moved to Daytona, we switched around the title, and so from second year on, we've been Coastal Magic. And that's kind of how we've gone. And between the book blog and going to other events, I've managed to, meet some new authors, and luckily they trust me to not screw this up. So here we are with year 7.
What's been your secret to keeping this going? I mean, because we've seen other cons kind of rise and fall. How do you manage to keep it going, especially for you? Because it's mostly a one-woman show.
I have some friends that are amazing at motivation and helping me, but I am also very much, I don't know that I would necessarily say control freak. I'm very particular about how I want things done. And so if someone else, okay, so maybe I am a control freak. If somebody else can do it the way I want them to do it, then that's fine. Otherwise, I'll do it myself. It is pretty much a one-woman show for the most part. But like I said, I have some amazing people that help me when it really counts, and that makes a big difference. And like you guys, the bloggers, there's no way I could do stuff without the bloggers. Between the help that I get from bloggers at the event itself and then the promo leading up to it, I have a decent network. I have, like I said, I have a lot of connections with authors that I'm very friendly with, and I'm very lucky to have that. But my reach only goes so far. Mm-hmm. So between the bloggers and the friends that I have and, just kind of beating feet, promo is not my favorite thing to do. I'm not particularly exceptional at it. I do okay. Obviously, I do all right, but I can certainly do better, and I can certainly learn more, and that's always kind of on my list of things to do. I'm always looking for new ways to get the word out. So, every year will get a little better and reach a few more people. As far as what makes it work, I don't know that there's really any secret formula. I don't know enough about the events that didn't make it to figure out what I'm doing differently. Hopefully, we'll continue to do it. We'll continue to make it. I know that, again, I'm just very particular about how, basically, I'm doing the event that I would want to go to. Mm-hmm. So if it's something that I think I would enjoy, then I want to try to find a way to incorporate it, because I figure somebody else must want this too. And for the most part, it's kind of worked that way. So I'm guessing that that's what works. I don't know. I wish that I knew some secret formula that I could share, but it's really just me being picky, I think, more than anything else.
Do you get the opportunity to enjoy the weekend you've created?
Not as much as I would like, and that's actually one of my goals. I figure I still have things to learn and things to improve upon and things to make more efficient until I can finally go to my event. Like, I'm there, and there are times that I get to pop in and see things. Like I've seen the Cinema Craptastique every year, and I pop into different things here and there. Especially, I would like to go to all the panels. I would like to moderate all of the panels. I will usually pick one or two that I'll try to get into and at least see some of. But my goal is to actually attend my event. So we'll see.
I think that's a good goal.
maybe that'll be this year.
And I guess kind of connected to that, I mean, what keeps you coming back year after year to keep this going, since it is all you?
I like to see people get as excited about it as I am. I like to see people get excited about the authors. I like to see people get excited when they, during the weekend, get to talk to people, get to meet up with people that they know online but have never had, been able to see face to face. I like the excitement of it all. I like the connections that people make. It's a boatload of work, and it's not always fun, but that weekend definitely makes up for it.
That's awesome. What people potentially may not know who attend is that unlike some cons where the authors have this mad dash to register to get in, the invites are all you. How do you decide who you want to have come, and kind of, do you have criteria that you think about, or?
Okay, so remember when I said it started because I got whiny that people weren't coming to Florida? This is all about me. So basically, I invite people that I want to see. And that sounds super ridiculous and completely self-centered. But basically, the way that it works is if an author excites me, if I would want to read their books, if they're super friendly on social media and their books look great and I think they'll fit in with our group, then I'm going to invite them. If they are interactive and they're offering something new and fresh and maybe something I haven't read yet but looks cool, then it's basically my wish list, my personal authors that I would love to meet. And I have invited some of the same authors every year for 7 years and they never respond to me, but I still do it anyway because I hope one of these days they're going to say yes. So my wish list, recommendations from people when they fill out the feedback forms, authors and readers when they come after we get home. I send out a feedback form, and one of the things on there is who would you like to see. So definitely those recommendations filter into it. Authors email me all year long, and I actually will go to their website. I'll look at their books. I'll look at their social media, all of that. Not because, I'm necessarily trying to exclude anyone, but what I'm trying to do is keep a dynamic, cohesive group that I think will work well together, that I think will complement each other, that I think will keep people excited and interested, and that will kind of give everybody a wide variety of things to look forward to. I like having really huge, big name authors, but I also like having debut authors that just have a really interesting first book. I have quite a few authors that come that live locally. I've got some that come from Canada. We have YA authors. We have erotica authors. We have LGBT authors. We've got own voices authors. We've got so many different variety of stories and storytellers that I really do try to kind of cultivate a nice group that will work together and that will kind of feed off of each other and just really have a good time.
Mm-hmm. The author
so
list.
I'm very picky.
Yeah. The author list is pretty awesome. Just seeing the cross section that's there, and then splitting up between these three genres that you look at that are kind of interconnected, but also kind of separate.
Yeah. Well, Old City New Blood was all urban fantasy and paranormal romance. Our first year, that's all we had. Second year was mostly just that still. And a lot of people, when they think of Coastal Magic, they think urban fantasy and paranormal romance. That's all that we will ever be in their head. What I discovered going into, I think it was year 3, is that a lot of authors write in multiple genres. Well, I knew that, but one of the things that became more apparent as far as the convention was going is that authors that write in multiple genres, it's not realistic to say, come and promote this urban fantasy that you have, but let's not talk about this romance you have over here. That just didn't make any sense. So bringing in authors that spread that focus was really a cool move. A lot of it actually came when we had the 1001 Dark Nights authors with us for a couple of years before they got to be, massively popular and everybody wanted them at every event. So that was nice, and that helped us a lot. We expanded a lot due to their author roster. it worked out really well. Our readers are very enthusiastic. They read so much in so many variety of genre that it really does make sense to have a lot of things there for people to see. There's questions, there's panels that we can have with authors that write in so many different genres. It's not specific. So the crossover just is automatically there. It doesn't make any sense to not have it. So that's kind of how we roll. Magical realism is something I've loved for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get more authors that write that. Cozy mysteries is a new thing for me. I've started liking cozy mysteries a lot lately. So we've got a couple of authors that write cozy mysteries coming now. Basically, like I said, if it's something I think I would enjoy, I'm going to try to get it at the convention, and hopefully everybody will follow along with me. So we'll keep expanding as long as the readers are finding interest in it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the way that you curate the lineup is pretty unique and pretty special. And like you said, I think the people who attend are voting with their attendance. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Jennifer.
So. I would like to think so. And I've had people tell us that we should have open signups. And I see the benefit to that in some respects, but it's just not the way that I would want to do my event. And for people that do it that way, that's great. It works for them. That's fantastic. It's just not something I'd be comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. And I think it says a lot that you do take the time to curate it, because you could do open and just like, here are 50 slots, go fill them up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's a little something, I think, to what Will said about people know it's your curation, and if they like your curation, they're going to trust in the new folks and genres that you're kind of bringing in.
I would like to think so.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, 2019 is going to be the 7th year of the convention. Mm-hmm. Is there any one favorite thing that you get to do every year that you're like, rubbing your hands together going, yay, I get to do this again? Is there one specific? Because putting together a convention is really hard work. But is there like one thing that you're like really jazzed about every single year?
I don't know. I like seeing everybody. I like to people watch, so I like seeing everybody. Like I like meeting the new authors. I like seeing them interact. I like seeing the people, hanging out with each other. I love scavenger hunts, like I said earlier, so I like to get involved in doing that kind of thing. I don't know. I kind of like it all. Like I said, I would love to moderate every single panel. I would love to go to every meet and greet. I kind of shoot myself in the foot because I want to do everything. And of course you cannot unless somebody has a time turner tucked away somewhere, and then if that's the case, we need to talk.
Right. You hear that out there? If you have a time turner, get in touch with Jennifer. Now, you've come with a pretty awesome giveaway for our listeners. Tell everybody what you've got.
Well, I think that somebody should get a free registration for Coastal Magic. So that will be one person that can come to Daytona in February. Now, I'm not able to pay for transportation or hotel, but I can definitely get you in for free. Yeah,
and of course the hotel has a discount with it, so that does help there just a little bit.
Absolutely.
So you created a hashtag called Win My Way in CMCon 19. Now, for those of you listening, don't freak out that you didn't get what that was, because we're going to put that in the show notes. But you can use that hashtag and then follow Coastal on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, any or all, and make posts, up to one post per day per platform, and let Jennifer know why you'd like to win, what's exciting about going to Coastal Magic, etc. And then she's going to pluck one winner out from all that at the end of the day, July 15th.
Right. Just make sure you're using the hashtag, and then I'll check Twitter, I'll check Facebook, I'll check Instagram, I'll look at all of them. You can do, like Jeff said, one a day per platform, so you get 3 chances every day. And what have we got from now till then is what, like 12 days, 13 days, something
Well,
like that?
7 days between the time this podcast drops on Monday, July 9th through Sunday, July 15th. So 7 days. People have to do this. So that's up to 7 times 3 is 21.
Yes.
Doing the math
Yay,
really
math.
quick. 21 chances to enter, which is pretty awesome. And I know you're looking for creativity in those entries.
Yep, absolutely. If there's an author that you're excited to see, let me know about it. If you've never been to Florida, let me know about it. If this will be your 7th time coming, let me know about it. Whatever you're excited about, put that in your tweet. It's going to do 2 things. 1, it's going to enter you in. And 2, I'm hoping that your excitement will be contagious. So maybe we can get all your friends to come along too.
Yeah, absolutely. And even better, if you're already registered for Coastal, you can still register to win this prize because Jennifer is going to be kind enough to refund your registration if you have already registered in these opening days that registration's open.
That's true. If the winner has already registered, then we'll do a refund for that cost for you. So don't necessarily wait to register just for the contest. Go ahead and register and then enter the contest and we'll get you your money back if you win.
Yeah, so that's super exciting. So look for the hash in the show notes so you can cut and paste it correctly, and we'll be announcing the winner back here on the podcast in episode 146 on July 23rd. And whoever the winner is, we look forward to seeing them too.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, so thank you for offering that up, and for the people who are going to want to do all things Coastal Magic. What's the best way to keep up with everything online?
Okay, so let's see. If you are a social media person, we have the Facebook page, the likable page. That's where you're going to find kind of info and updates, kind of all the official stuff. Author promo will be on there. So if any of our featured authors have new books out or anything like that, you can follow all of that there. We have a Facebook group that you can request to join. And that's where we do kind of more of the fun social stuff. We do chats on there. We'll do questions and everybody will answer questions. Sometimes the authors will come on and interact, which is really fun. Just like random goofy stuff. We'll also have info and updates on there as well. And it's basically anything Coastal Magic related. Book related will happen there. We don't do author promo in the group. That's for the page. So if you are one of those people that doesn't like to join groups because of all the promo, that's not one of the things that happens in our group. So there's that. And then I believe all of the links will be on your show notes. So
Yes.
So you can click on that. We've also got Twitter, of course, and Instagram, which we'll update as well, if those are your preferred social media platforms. If you don't do social media and you'd rather just follow the blog, all of the blog has all of the information, all of the updates, and that's just at the coastalmagicconvention.com blog. You have an opportunity to subscribe via email or via the WordPress blog reader. So if you don't do social media, you can just follow the blog. If you like social media, then you have options as well.
Cool. And we should mention too that we're a featured blogger, so we'll be hosting several of the featured authors between now and February. But there's a network of bloggers out there too who will also be featuring until the end of until the con actually happens in February. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff to be following on those as well.
There is, and if you plan on coming to the convention, we have a reader challenge that we do every year where the information for that will be posted on our social media and the blog this week, where you can read books from our featured authors, and depending on how many books you've read or how many authors you've read, you can win prizes that you get to pick up at the convention. So that's fun. So if you like reading challenges, we got one of those.
Fantastic. We'll link to that blog post as well when that comes out.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming by and telling us all about Coastal. We look forward to seeing you and everybody in Daytona in February.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'll be excited to see you guys.